Hey there, I'm Dr. Linda Burke. What an amazing way to end Black Maternal Awareness Week with a successful vaginal birth after C-section delivery of Olympian Allyson Felix. Woohoo! I'm happy for her for a number of reasons. Number one, I am thankful to her for acknowledging that her OB-GYN physician and doula looked like her. That's important to me because I have been beating the drum about the importance of racial concordance and the importance of representation in the OB-GYN maternal health space. The other reason I think that this delivery is so profound is she had a doula who not only was a nurse, she was a nurse practitioner, which means that she had advanced clinical training, and she also had a doctorate degree. And no, I'm not saying that every doula should have that level of excellence in terms of credentials and training, but it certainly, I believe, helps. The other thing that I want to talk about is the use of a technique called hypno babies that Allyson and her she calls it her birth squad used to eliminate pain medication. Now, she does admit that it was extremely hard. She says, quote, ridiculously hard, but she was successful. The reason I bring that up is because I think as OB-GYN physicians and as healthcare professionals, we need to acknowledge that sometimes we do not have all the answers. There's something in medicine called iatrogenic and idiopathic, and both of those terms basically mean we are clueless in terms of why this works or why this happened. Falling back on my own experience, back in the day, I worked on a Native American reservation in South Dakota, and there was a patient who was in labor. She had a midwife. She thought that she was going to have a C-section. Her grandfather, the patient's grandfather, was sitting outside of her hospital room. And every time the patient's grandfather played the harmonica, the baby would descend down into the birth canal. And so I said, you know what? Tell him to continue to play that harmonica and give me a vacuum, and let's see if we can, deliver this baby from below, meaning vaginally. And it worked. I cannot tell you why it worked, but it worked. So going back to Allyson Felix's delivery, I think that her delivery, number one, again, emphasizes the importance of representation in terms of people who look like her and who look like me in the healthcare workforce. I think also it's important to remember that there is a mind-body connection. I could tell you all stories at another time about how I know that works. Mind-body connection is real. She used that technique and it worked. And so I asked my colleagues, my medical colleagues, to be open to new things that definitely make a difference. The landscape, the birthing space is shifting, and we have to accept it whether we like it or not. And for all intent purposes, we should like it. So again, I am grateful for this great news. It takes us back to a time when having a baby was joyful and meaningful. And I hope this is the beginning of a shift in terms of the mindset of our collective community. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you will like and subscribe my channel so I can continue to pass wisdom on to you. And I will see you next time. Take care.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Still not understand.